Our rules of engagement today for everyone are similar to the ones we use for conversations, which is please use the chat box to make comments or to raise any questions that you might have. Raising your hand is not going to help because we won't be unmuting anyone. So you must please use the chat box. But we would like people to engage and to raise questions. This shouldn't just be a dry presentation. So do engage with us during the course of the session. I'm going to be the MC for today. I'm shortly going to hand over to Sharon to do the chairperson's address. But if you've got questions while she's presenting, put them into the chat box, and then I will bring them to Sharon's attention at the right sort of time. And of course, if you are a member with a designation, you will get CPD points for the session. I think most people are here, so I'm going to carry on with my intro, which I'll string out until Sharon can join us. Just to go back to that first slide for a moment. This is the concluding meeting of the Asdsa annual general meeting process. You're aware that our process is run on an online basis, which means that the AGM is not just an event. Today, for example, is not the AGM. Our AGM starts when some weeks ago we chatted to you and asked you to consider the various resolutions that were being put and to go through a voting process. So this is the AGM process, which culminates in our AGM today. Our agenda for the time now we have together, we welcome an opening. Then I'm going to hand over to Sharon to do the chairperson's address, which we're targeting at around about half an hour. Sharon will then hand back to me, and then I will give you the results of the voting process that everybody's been engaging in. And congratulations to new board members. And then I'll hand it back to Sharon to do the closing session.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the AGM for 2022 for the Association for Skills Development in South Africa. I am apologizing upfront for not having an agenda for you to have a look at, because this year I have quite a number of slides for us to get through. So all of my bullet points did not actually fit onto the agenda slide, so I just left the agenda slide out. So we'll go through the different slides as we get through them. So let's start off with our first slide, which is actually going into the survey that we did on the member perception. So I wanted to start the AGM off this year with the survey, and I want to quickly just go through the reason why I started with the survey and not going through all the various different normal legislative things that I go through. When I started my presentation for the AGM, I was going to do exactly what I did last year. I'm a creature of habit, and I like to do everything in a set format. And then I got to analyzing the survey that we did on the member perception of the Asdsa, and what I found from that was that quite a few of our members actually don't know a lot about the Asdsa. They don't really know what we do, and we've not communicated a lot of what we do in the background with our members very well. And that is a very good and a very bad thing. And I'm very grateful to the members for being honest with us. And I welcome that negative feedback, because that negative feedback is what we need to improve ourselves. It helps us to pinpoint where we're going wrong and to help us to actually focus on what we need to strategize on and develop and improve on. So I just pulled out of that survey. We will do a feedback to everybody on a proper presentation feedback to everybody, and we'll share it with all of our members. But I just pulled out a couple of things that stood out for me. And that was some comments like that we were professional, relevant, and active, that we were informative and helpful, that we require strengthening in various areas, like communicating with our members, like making sure that we are communicating what our value-added benefits are. Non-members didn't have an understanding of what our ASDSA purpose was. We were a good sounding board, uncertainty about our benefits, quality information at our networking and engagement sessions. Some of our sessions are quick and seamless, however, but they're impersonal. So some of our members are experiencing not good sessions. So these are things that are coming out of the feedback, and we wanted some of you to have the option to be anonymous so that you could give us proper feedback. And that's the reason why I actually changed the entire presentation today. I actually started the presentation, did the presentation, and then completely changed it 2 days ago. So hence the completely different format that we are running with today. So the other thing that I wanted to note is that we currently have 322 members. Only 43 participants actually gave us feedback. And of those 43 participants, only 35 of them were members. It's important that we hear from you. It's important that the members give us feedback so that we can see where we're going wrong and we can see how to improve that. I think it is very important that the members tell us what we are doing wrong so that we can improve, and I welcome that. Right. Another thing that came out from surveys past is that you don't know who we are. So this is who we are. The board of directors is from left to right, Dr. Johan Maria, Jonathan Brawns, Tembi Jagonda, Morena Ritter, and I see that it has omitted to put in Yolandi Tui, who is on the top right-hand side. So that is our current board as we stand, and our 2 exiting board members are Tembi Jagonda, who is in the middle, and Dr. Johan Maria on the bottom left-hand side. Then the EXCO committee and office bearers. This is the dream team, the team that does everything well into the wee hours of the morning if they have to. It is from left, it's myself, Sharon van den Heever, then it is Morena Ritter, Andy Raneke, and Melanie Mulholland. And we hold the positions of national chairperson, member and stakeholder liaison, which is a newly created position to focus on our members and engage with our stakeholders. It will be quite an important portfolio. And Annie Raneke, who is actually one of our founding members, and then Melanie Mulholland has now taken up the position of company secretary. Then just to go through what I've just spoken about, the added value, the value added benefits that we have here is assessors and verifiers. Please understand that we have a lot of new projects in the pipeline. We've got our LGCTA project. If any of you are wanting to be part of our assessors and verifiers, become a designated member with your assessor statement of results. Apply to us to become part of that assessor and verifier team. We're always looking for assessors and verifiers. It is a paid service to the ASDSA. Let us know that you are interested in being part of our ASDSA team. We're always looking for those kinds of people to assist us with those. We need people to also assess our critical skills evaluations. We only have one person doing that at the moment, and that's myself. And then we've got our marketing and systems officer, Angelique Banau. And then Tracy does our bookkeeping and accounts. And one of our board members, Jonathan Brawns, also assists with our LGCTA projects. And then, who are our regional chairs? And there they are. From left to right, you can have a look at the top. It is Angela Schultz. That is our Gauteng person. I have omitted a new addition, which is Nozihle. She is our vice chair in the Gauteng region. She's relatively new. Then it is Mariana Bibi. She is Free State. Elsie Adamsa, which is the Garden Route area. She's vice chair. Then at the bottom, it is Elaine Kruger for KZN and Morena Ritter, Western Cape. As you can see, Morena wears a couple of different hats. Then it is Drina Davies, which is our Northern Cape, in conjunction with, so they are co-chairs in the Northern Cape area with Percy Manuel, and Dr. Floris Prinsloo for the Garden Route in conjunction with Elsie Harmsen. So a nice robust team of people there, all coming from different areas. So Angela's in the banking sector, Mariana is skills development, and I think she's also in mentoring and coaching. So we've got a wide variety of people that serve on our regional committees. We're looking for more people. So please, guys, put up your hands and join our team. Then the person that works in the background, and Tracy did not want her photo up, and is not able to be here today with us. She's our accounts and bean counter, keeps our books in line, keeps us in line with regards to all our finances in the background. But this lady over here is our marketing and systems officer and our general genius at the back. And the reason why I have 4 different photos of her is because she has to make sure that everything runs smoothly in several different areas. And I hope Angelique doesn't mind that I pulled a couple of photos of Facebook of her. But the reason why there's 4 different photos is every now and then she's got to wear several different hats, and she does it with absolute style. Thank you, Angelique. Another thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, and this is something that I think is very important to bring to your attention. We've gone from 297 members in our previous AGM to 332, which is a 12% increase in members. That's because of our Asdsa project. We have quite a considerable amount of members that are dropping off on a monthly basis. So it keeps us very busy to try and recruit members. It's a huge concern for us, and we're always on that marketing drive of trying to get our members into the organization, and we're going to be brainstorming that at our next planning session in November. The other concerning factor is look at the designations to member ratio. So we've gone from last year to this year's AGM of 47 designees to 51 designees, which is not a very big jump. But if you look at the ratio of designated members to actual members, we are looking at only a 16% of our members that are designated. So I think that that is actually not a very good percentage of our members that are designated. If we want to take ourselves seriously as an organization, when we are lobbying and we are wanting to advocate for the skills development landscape, we have to have more designated members, because it's the designated members that assist us to get that lobbying and advocacy done. And with a small group of people that are doing that, it's not always possible. So I'm calling on our members now to take those designations seriously and look at getting their designations. So challenge has been laid down. Let's see how many of you are going to take that challenge up. And we have now piloted the RPL for a designation. So those that don't have underlying qualifications or any qualifications, I can tell you for a fact, I have been put through the master's RPL and I have completed it. I've done my technician, my practitioner, and my master's designation and successfully completed all 3. So, thank you. So, member issues raised from our last survey. Just touching on this very lightly so that you know that we do take those surveys very, very seriously. We are steadily transforming our board and our members. Our members are well over the 60% already. Clarity on the MOUs I will go through in another slide. We are currently, we have done our director benchmarking, and we are currently reviewing all our roles and responsibilities in the Asdsa. Shortly after our planning session in November, you will be seeing a completely new organogram for the Asdsa, and we'll be publishing that on our website with our updated website. We did apply for ETDPC funding this year. We did not get the funding, but we are continuing to engage with the ETDPC. We are trying to comply with regards to submitting the workplace skills plans and ATRs across the sectors and engaging with the CETAs, but we need more designated SDFs in order for us to lobby more. So that challenge has been put out. Let's see how we go with that. Tenure of our committees, excos, and board members. We've done our board charter and our tenures have been put in place. Our terms of reference have been reviewed, and we will share those with our members. Automated systems have been completed, and like I said to you, we will publish our exco members on the website when we update those, probably around the early next year. Strategic objectives, these are taken from our current ones that we share with you every single year. What I wanted to show you was what we are looking at for next year. We're looking at longer workshops, so more along the line of 4-hour workshops. We want to look at specializations of chambers. So looking at a chamber that specializes in engaging with the QCTO, chambers that specialize in engaging with the seaters only, maybe a chamber that specializes engaging with FET colleges and lecturers and looking at that segment that we're not catering to at the moment. A chamber that maybe looks at engaging with just DHET, Department of Labor and DTI, coaching and mentoring programs and sourcing of funding. I'm looking for volunteers that would like to see if they could run with those programs for us, because that's the area that we need to also engage with. And I'm looking for somebody that would like to be the head of all of our regional chairs as a forum, so that we can engage with the provincial forums more aggressively. I don't feel like we're engaging with them as aggressively as we need to be engaging with them. All right. Strategic direction. We are touching on all of these from a strategic level. We've expanded our CPD programs. We do ongoing workshops and programs, but we want to expand these to longer programs with more expertise. We've got our value adds for our members. One of our members suggested that we should be doing, one of the value added benefits that a member suggested is that we should be doing something along the lines of Commissioner of Oath for all of our members. I think that is an excellent suggestion. However, I think it should only be a designated member that should be a Commissioner of Oath, like most of our other professional bodies do. It's usually at a higher level that a Commissioner of Oath is done at, and we will have a look at where we think that should land at. But I think that is an excellent suggestion, and we're definitely going to be taking that forward. Continual improvement of our professional designations that we do on an ongoing basis. We've just engaged with the SACRA guys last week, and they are in the process of updating our designations on the website as we speak. Hopefully that will get done. It has taken 17 months for them to do the updates on the NLRD, but I've been assured that within the next week it should be updated. And then, as I said, those chambers of specialization, I think, are going to be key in us expanding and lobbying and engaging from a lobbying and advocacy perspective. What we set out to do in 2022. So as you can see, what we set out to do, there were 2 areas that we didn't manage to check the boxes for, and that was getting our funding from a corporate social investment perspective and applying for funding from one of the seaters for our skills programs. We did try and do both, but we were not successful in both of those. And then what we did manage to do in 2022. So everybody knows about our virtual events, our webinars, and our workshops. I'm not going to go through the entire list. One of the things that I did want to touch on is the increasing our lobby and advocacy. I'm sure you've seen that we've been sharing and asking you for comments. One of the things that I think that was very disappointing for me is that we've done a position paper on the historical qualifications that are expiring next year that are going to have a drastic effect on the skills development landscape. And we had less than 10 comments back. And thank you to those that did comment, but less than 10 comments from 322 members is quite a disappointing response for us. But I will tell you that we will be sending that position paper to, we're sending it to the office of the president, and we will be sending it to various stakeholders in industry and aggressively following that up, because we think that it's got a direct impact on quite a few aspects. So an important paper for us to actually send out. But I think that it's important that when we lobby and we do the advocacy, we're going to start including our members a lot more, and we would like to see members responding to us. I know that we've given very short timelines, but I think 5 to 7 working days should be enough. If you think that that needs to be a little bit longer, please let us know about that. There's many different mechanisms that you can give us feedback on. I'll give you my email address at the end of the presentation. And then we've undertaken our streamlining, and very importantly, we did land our second Asdsa project, which was our 1.5 million rand to capacity build SDFs for the Asdsa. So we are doing our capacity building for SDFs. We continue with our last year's member developments, doing our various monthly portfolio building workshops and our CPD workshops, our evaluator and verifier development. So if you are an evaluator and a verifier, we do development workshops with those people. And we now also do inductions for all of our members that serve on any of our committees. That gets done as well, and the completed piloted RPL for a designation. Then MOUs, we have the current MOUs in place with SABPP and APED. The APED MOU is not as aggressive as our engagement with SABPP that we meet with on a monthly basis. So a good engagement that happens with the SABPP. And just for members to understand, Asdsa is skills development. SABPP is HR. The two are very closely related and linked, and we do need to work together, but there are fundamental differences between the two associations. I think it's important for everybody to understand that SABPP focuses on the HR side, Asdsa focuses on the skills development side, and perhaps it's an opportunity for us to have an engagement with SABPP and engage with all of our members on both sides to understand how we actually engage with the two associations or the two professional bodies. Then there's also what we call the Parkdown Declaration, which is a document that was signed with a number of different professional bodies to say that if you belong to various different professional bodies, CPD can occur within the workplace and within professional bodies, and it will be accepted within the other professional bodies. So CPD points are transferable because of this document. So please go and have a look at the Parkdown Declaration, read it and understand it, and understand that CPD points can be carried across between professional bodies. So you don't have to continually redo professional developments and then not have to redo it at different professional bodies. It is transferable between professional bodies, and there is an understanding that has already been published.
Sharon, two things.
Yes.
One is 20 minutes in.
Yes.
And then a question from Elizabeth Wabi. While the presentation is very informative, are we going to be provided with the slides? It would be much appreciated.
Okay, no problem. I want to speed it up a little bit. Then we used to engage with these three international professional bodies. When Jill Connellan was around, she had a very good working relationship with them. We will be engaging with them in 2023 again. I'll be picking up that interaction so that we can get some international professional body engagement. The alignment to the NQF. So just as a matter of interest, I'm not going to go into too much detail. This is one of our main objectives, is to make sure that we align to the NQF. How we do that is what we've done on the right-hand side. Respond to government gazettes, expressions of interest to the QCTO to become an AQP. That is one of the things that we did this year. When we have calls for comments from the National School of Government, we respond to those. Inputs to the Asdsa Code of Conduct, when they ask us for those kinds of information, we submit that to them. So I'm not going to go through all of that. You don't see everything that we do, but that's just some of the information on what we do. If you would like us to publish everything that we do send out, I think that that is a good idea. And that came out of the survey that we don't publish all of those things. Perhaps we should. Then OFO, the OFO profiles, our organizing framework for occupations. You know that there's a new one out. There's the 2021 version. I think it's important that we do workshops around the differences between the two OFO codes, and that there is an OFO code that aligns to the skills development administrator, facilitator, practitioner, and master or manager. So just to give you an overview of that, it aligns directly to our designations as well. For any of you that didn't know that, our designations land on a level 4, level 5, and level 7, but they align to the old OFO codes. We should be exploring how they align to the new OFO codes. Benefits of professional designations. Everybody wanted to know what they were. There they are, guys. I'm not going to go through all of them for you. The presentation will be shared. Sorry. So that you can go through that. I wanted to make it very aware so that everybody, it gets shared with all of our members. We will be sharing this with all of our members as well. Benefits for employers. What are the benefits for employers to become an ASDSA member, to become professionally designated, to look for professionally designated people? When you get a professionally designated person, it shows you that that person is confident in their performance, committed to their profession. They have competence. Competence is key. And it's an assurance that that person has been professionally designated through a professional body. So I think that is very important for people to understand. I would prefer to employ a person that was professionally designated. Benefits for practitioners. Okay, again, not going to go through everything here, but we'll share the slides with everybody. Benefits of our membership. We have a number of different benefits of our membership. Just to go through that, lobbying advocacy, and I'm not going to go through everything else. One of the things that came up from our members, we don't share quarterly newsletters. That will be something that we put into our strategy and see how we can get that done for you. I think it's an important thing that we share what we do on a regular basis. And there is our first designation, technician. Very proudly, we work on this on a regular basis. Andy, myself, the EXCO team, this is something that we do on a regular basis. We probably update this at least once to 2 to sometimes 3 times a year. We are working on these designations. That's our practitioner. And I've just done for our for you guys and for our members a very brief outline of what that practitioner is all about. But if you are not sure, if you have a look, I'm just going to go quickly back. 493 on the SACWA website is our designation for the technician. 494 is our designation ID for the practitioner, and 770 is our designation ID for the master. You're welcome to go and have a look at it. Both the practitioner and master are not yet updated on the website, but the technician is. We've got a clear certification process, and it is very easy to go through. 4 steps: application, assessment, certification, and maintenance. So not a difficult process. Then we've got the nature and benefits of CPD. And one of the things that I want to highlight about CPD, because people often have this thing that CPD is, it's a hindrance, it's a problem, it's difficult to do. It's not a difficult thing if you just know how to do it. And my idea of CPD is always to just make sure that you keep the records on an ongoing basis. It's like how you do your workplace skills plan. Continually keep those records. If you maintain and keep them on a monthly basis, it will not be a difficult thing to do. And the one important thing about CPD is it gives you time to reflect on how much you're actually developing yourself. And that's what we're all about in skills development, is development of ourselves and the community of people that we work in, the people that we develop all the time. That's just our CPD process, so that everybody has a clear understanding of what it is. And we've tried to automate as much of that as we possibly can. And you don't have to submit any evidence. Only if you get audited do you submit that evidence. And that's what this slide is all about. That CPD record card, we only audit 10% of it annually, and we only ask for the evidence when you get audited. So you don't have to submit evidence. You just submit the record card. Then code of conduct, very important for us. We take the code of conduct very seriously. It's important that we make sure that you know that we will hold you accountable if you do something illegal. We have already blacklisted a member for fraudulently or using a membership certificate. And we have submitted that to SAQA, and we have submitted that to, if I'm not mistaken, one of the departments that it related directly to. And we have also demoted within our organization with regards to an incident that happened. So we have had incidents happen, and we have a disciplinary committee that convenes. I would like to see in the professional body space, professional bodies actually convening disciplinary committees within the professional body space where it becomes serious, where there's training providers and professionals that are at a high level that are not doing things correctly. So that I would like to see happen. And we have a disciplinary process. So we've got a clear guideline of how we actually run those. Critical skills. So I don't think a lot of our members know that we actually have a critical skills policy. We do engage with the Department of Home Affairs, and we will issue a critical skills letter. However, at the moment, the Department of Home Affairs has not given us any clear guidelines, and we need to revise that critical skills policy because they've cut the critical skills list, and we don't have any clear guidelines, so we cannot issue any critical skills letters at the moment, which is a problem because some of our members are lecturers, and they've cut the lecturer OFO code out of the critical skills list. So that impacts negatively for our members. So we are trying to engage with the Department of Home Affairs. It's not going very well at the moment. I'm 3 months into engaging with the Department of Home Affairs with no responses. So unfortunately, sometimes that is how life is for me. Then I'm throwing a challenge down to our members. I would like to say marketing committee, technical committee, regional chairpersons, verifiers and evaluators, which are paid positions. Anybody that would like to volunteer, please put your hand up. It is a volunteer position for all of the above. The verifiers and evaluators are paid positions, but there are criteria that we need to meet. Like you have to be a member in good standing, you do have to have a designation, and you do need to have a Asdsa registration from a statement of results from ETDPSETA. And we will assess you before we allow you to come into our mix because we have very high standards at the ASDSA. But please put up your hands and come and join our team. It's an amazing team. As you all know, we are very passionate about the ASDSA and skills development. And then in closing, I just want to say to my team, to our committees, to our volunteers, to my members, to my designees, and to everybody that dedicates their time to the position papers that you don't see, that we work on to the wee hours of the morning, and to the 3 o'clocks in the mornings that we email each other and contact each other, which you don't see, that we do. I just want to say thank you very much for always being there. I've been working at this association now as a voluntary association since 2018. So I'm in my 5th year now, and I absolutely love working for it. So thank you very much. Any questions? I hope I'm on time, Andy.
You are actually. I'm terribly impressed. I never thought you'd get through the slides in half an hour. Well done.
I was going to try and get through them as quickly as I possibly could without deviating too much.
Does anybody have any questions or comments for Sharon? We can take a moment or two if anybody's got something they'd like to raise now. If you'll type them in the chat box, please.
I'm going to stop the sharing of my presentation. I will share the presentation.
Thanks, Sharon.
Sharon, we don't share slides. We share the recording of the presentation on YouTube, and the link is also shared on the WhatsApp.
Okay. If anybody needs any information, they are welcome to send me an email. My email address is chair@asdsa.org.za. And if you would like any specific information, you're welcome to send me an email and I will share information with you. I am an information sharer, but what we will be doing is most of the information that is in my presentation today will be in our handbook that we are going to be publishing very, very shortly. So a lot of what I put into our presentation today will be in our ASDSA handbook that we are redoing for our members. It will be a member-only handbook.
Thanks, Sharon. Are there any questions? questions. I've lost the chat box. Anybody? Are there any issues in the chat box?
Michael Tiger asks, or he says, great presentation. Does the SABP recognize the STF designation?
I don't understand what Michael Tiger means by recognize the STF designation. Can you elaborate, Michael? What they do is they do accept our CPD points because we have an MOU with them. So any CPD that you do with us will be taken into consideration if it's anything related to skills development. So if you do ethics with us, they will accept ethics with ethics CPD points on their side.
Okay, shall we move on to the voting results? So I had the chairperson's address. The voting results look as follows. Firstly, I just want to talk to you a moment about the charter. As Sharon has told you, we've been working on a number of systems that build out and flesh out our policies and procedures, including a charter for our board members. And in terms of that charter, one of the terms is clause 6.1. It says the term of office for the non-exec directors is 3 years. Thereafter, they may be re-elected for one additional term. After that, there must be a cooling off period of at least a year before the individual can stand for re-election. And we've done this because it brings fresh ideas into the Asdsa at a strategic level. However, the impact is we've got 2 long-serving directors who unfortunately have had to stand down because of the adoption of this charter. And so it's a word of thanks to Johan Maria and Tembi Chagonda. You've been with us for many years on our board and have offered invaluable advice and guidance to us. And we greatly appreciate that. You're obliged to stand down in terms of the charter. We hope that you don't forget about us. And if you're interested in serving on the board again, it is just a year. And if there are then vacancies in a year, please put your hand up if you'd like to be nominated again. So a thank you to them. The auditing the online voting process. As you know, the voting is done online. It's done over a period in time, and you've seen that timetable earlier in this session. We exercise an external checking of that voting process through our auditors. I've got here that the auditors have confirmed the veracity of the votes cast. That's not true. I've just had a note from our auditor who's had a family emergency and hasn't been able to complete the auditing process by the time of this meeting, but it will be done in the course of next week. I would be very surprised if they overturn anything we're saying, but please just bear in mind that it has not yet been finalized. We will confirm in the course of next week if there's any change based on what they've said. The next thing I need to tell you in terms of the voting is that in order for the votes to be valid, to be acceptable, we must meet the requirement that sits in our memorandum of incorporation. Now, the clause is 3.2.2, which says that we must have at least 25% of the voting rights in order for there to be a legitimate quorum existing. So, have we met those requirements? The number of members in good standing got currently 322. The quorum requirement means we need to get at least 81 votes. 25% is 80.5. 81 votes that constitute quorum. We actually have 98 votes that have been cast. That means we have achieved a quorum. So the results of the voting can now be are legit. They've got the quorum legitimacy. Resolution 1. Approving the minutes of the previous AGM, we had 98 yeses and 1 no. The no vote was recorded because, and we've checked out of the member who voted no as to the reason, we neglected to offer the option to abstain from voting, which was our mistake. And the member was saying he wanted to abstain because he hadn't digested the minutes of the previous AGM, and I think might not have been there. So he wasn't able to vote yes. So the no wasn't a no-no, the no meant I'd rather abstain. So this is passed. The annual financial statements, again, 98 yeses, and the no was a similar reason for a no. So that's passed. The approval of the auditors, that has been passed. The board of directors, there's a resolution number 4 to ratify the director changes and to confirm the directors for the following year. That's a unanimous vote of yes. And then in terms of the voting for 2 new directors.
Sorry, Andy, we've lost your sound for a second. Can you just repeat what you've said in the last minute?
Can you hear me now? Is my sound back?
Yes.
Okay, so the ratification of directors, that's 100% yes. The voting on the 2 new directors to represent members on the board. Remember, again, these are provisional results, but we are able to congratulate both of our 2 new directors, Rene Howlett and Lerato Munyatsi. Congratulations on joining the ASDSA board. That then concludes the feedback on the voting process. Sharon, can I hand back to you for the closing?
Yes. Okay, so firstly, I would just like to say welcome to Lerato and Renee, our 2 new board members. Very exciting that we've got some new ladies on our board, and I'm looking forward to engaging with you guys. Just to give you a little heads up, ladies, you'll be coming down to our strategy session in Cape Town in November. So I hope you have your suitcases packed for the strategy session. I noticed that there was a couple more questions on the chat box. I think I want to have a quick go at it. I see that, Michael, you said, does the SABPP give membership to ASDSA members at a certain level? No, they don't. Remember, I said earlier that the SABPP is an HR professional body. So you need to go through their designation process and their membership process. We don't have a formal agreement with regards to membership at this stage in time. We can open up a conversation to them because we do have a good relationship with them, but it muddies the waters as far as we're concerned, because we don't want to ask for discounts, and I'm sure that they don't want to ask us for discounts with regards to members. That was something that we thought was unethical initially when we started the engagements. We share information with them with regards to best practices from a professional body perspective. But no, we don't do member discounts or co-memberships, because the professional bodies like to keep in their space with regards to what their mandates are for their professional bodies. I hope that explains it.
Sharon, if I can comment there.
Yes.
There's obviously a financial reason behind this as well.
Yes.
Because the professional body is saying, why would I want to give a discount to you if you belong to another professional body? The fees that you pay are for the services that you get from the professional body. So they talk to the cost base of the professional body. There's no cost reduction to the professional body if we reduce fees because you belong to another professional body. So I get why people are saying that.
Yeah.
And as the treasurer of the ASDSA, I have some sympathy for that. If we were to cut our fees because somebody belonged to a different professional body, we as the whole body, all of us members, lose out if we're giving that sort of discount. Sharon, back to you.
Yeah, and then there was Elizabeth that asked if there is a relationship between us and IPM. No, there isn't at the moment, but I can look into that. I'm not too sure who IPM is and what they do.
Can I comment on that as well, Sharon? So
yes.
The Institute of Personal Management is one of the trade associations in a similar way to the way APID is a trade association. It's an association typically of organizations rather than individuals. So the professional bodies provide professional body status to an individual. We're looking at individuals, whereas something like APID or IPM, APID particularly is a good case in point. That's where an organization joins a trade association so they can lobby together. So that's really what the difference is. We don't have much of a relationship with IPM. I've seen IPM over the years becoming more and more, if you like, of a provider of information to the industry rather than a representative organization with the industry. And in my own mind, it is a lot less interactive, but I might be wrong. But we don't have a formal relationship with them.
We're
Sharon,
always, yeah, we're always happy to engage with any organization. And if you would like to introduce us, I'm quite happy. Elizabeth, if you want to send us an email, you're welcome to send me an email. I'm going to quickly pop my email address into the chat box, and then you guys will have it so that you can send me an email directly and I will respond to you. Please don't be alarmed if I don't get back to you immediately, because I do get quite a few emails on a regular basis. But the idea that we have for the ASDSA for next year is we are looking to expand our skills development landscape and our engagement with stakeholders and just who we are engaging with from a skills development perspective. So Elizabeth, please, by all means, you are welcome to engage. Thank you, Michael. I saw your comment. If you're happy with that feedback, we will still engage with SABPP. Andy meets with AJ, I think monthly, Andy?
Not quite monthly, but on a regular basis.
On a regular basis. We've got a pretty good relationship with them. So we've been fostering that relationship. You know, when we did the position paper, we called a number of professional bodies together, including SIPT, SIOSH, Institute for Working at Height. So we deal with a number of different professional bodies when we are looking at doing something in the professional body space. I have developed a relationship with a number of professional bodies that don't even work in the professional body, in the skills development landscape, that I will phone and ask, how do you do this? What do you do when this happens? So we also speak to each other from a professional body perspective. So I will call on those people that have been in the industry for a longer period of time than I have to ask for some guidance and advice. So yeah, I just think, is there anything that I have left out? Don't forget, guys, we do have CPD points that you can get for today's session. And yeah, I think it has been a good session today. And I thank you very much for attending our AGM session. Is there anything that I have left out, Andy?
Not that I can think of. Just from my side, thanks to everyone who joined us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you. We do appreciate it. We enjoy the feedback. We enjoy engaging, and we're looking forward to our challenge that we have thrown down to our members of many designation applications after today's session.